weather is very overcast today. I'm still feeling a bit chilly, and I'm indoors. I'm now at home. I'm not in the office. I've just stopped off to just make sure I could do this broadcast. Welcome, Bejoy.
Yeah, good morning. Good afternoon, Les. It's
Can you
really
hear me,
good to.
Bejoy?
Yeah, I can hear you. I hope you can hear me. You've got to
We've got
love
some real
technical
technical
issues.
challenges at this moment because
Yeah, you got to love the technical issues that come across with the wonders of Zoom and
yeah,
video
I've got some
conferences.
technical issues here.
Yep, but you know what? No, it's all good. We've got the lovely spring weather to welcome us
And
in
we
to this
will.
amazing season.
Thank you. Last week, both of us were out on the road again. Last week and this week, we're out a bit. Um, and so that's why there's a lot of variation in the technology. But it's really good to just be with you guys today at 12 o'clock or just after 12. And just to say, last week we were at a meeting with the police, with some council members, with young people, youth workers, various different initiatives and organizations. And we were discussing some really important things because at this moment we're talking about recovery for the city, recovery for the nation, recovery in terms of education, recovery in terms of health and mental health. And so I want us to, as we have this discussion, to think about some of the issues that were there before the pandemic, and we're going to talk about it. So, Bijo, do you want to tell us a little bit about what we've been doing, particularly with the synergy in light of our recovery going forward?
Yeah, absolutely. And Les, you're absolutely right. I think there's a lot of talk with us in Ascension Trust, but also with us across the church and the wider community. Is what does recovery from the pandemic look like? But I think it's also upon us to recognize as society that there was a responsibility of some of these issues that were there before the pandemic, and a recovery has got to include those issues. Like part of that is the issue around youth violence, and recognizing that
Mm.
whilst it has reduced, the question is, has it reduced enough? And the fact that at the start of this year there were various incidents, not just in London but around the UK, where knife crime spiked, just indicates that even though we have a pandemic, some of these issues are still prevalent. And the Synergy Network has been doing some incredible work in trying to build up communities and build up networks that look at tackling some of these issues around youth violence, highlighting people who are doing great work and bringing them together so we can find out where are there gaps in our activities, in our thinking, in our resources, so we can see who can help plug those gaps. And we had Reverend Dr. Rosemary Mallett last week, who is on the Synergy board, and she was just highlighting the benefits of working together. And that's got to be our mindset moving forward. How can we work in synergy, in collaboration with people in our communities to say, hey, let's bring about a holistic change in our approach and our action and our activities?
And you know what's really good? I just came off the phone with someone who's an accountant, and she was saying to me, "How can I help? I want to do something." Because she said usually these things seems to be out there or on the TV or in the press. But she talked about in her neighborhood, just in Stockwell, a young guy was murdered a couple of weeks ago. And she's saying to herself, what can I do? How can I be part of the solution? And she was saying to me that she wanted to start her and a friend a charity. And I said to her, no, don't start a charity. There are charities out there already who are looking for people with skills, with a heart, with a passion
Mhm.
to join them so that they could be more effective. And that's what synergy is about. Synergy is about helping all of us know who's doing what, where they are doing it, how well they're doing it, what needs do they have, and how can people get involved. So I think it's very important, Bejoy, that we really think about, particularly before we start up another charity, who are the charities doing things? Where can I get the information from? And if you go to the Synergy Network, just Google Synergy Network, you could see other people who are doing things that you could be part of, because the recovery for this nation will mean that we have to collaborate.
Yeah.
We have to share ideas, share skills, share resources, put our hands to the plow together so that we could really help our communities, our cities, our nation to fully recover from this pandemic.
Yeah, most definitely. And as a Croydon boy myself, we have a lot of issues around youth violence and have done for many years. And living in like both ends of the borough, both over in the west and going towards central London, and in the south going towards Gatwick and the M25. One of the issues and the difficulties that people face is because Croydon being such a big borough, they're saying, I hear the effects of these issues that impact our young people. But whilst it's not as prevalent in the South, the question is, I don't know how to connect. I don't know what to do. It's something I want to be involved with, but how can I get involved? And we want to say
Mm,
the Synergy Network is there to say, let's build those bridges. Let's connect the people who want to help but don't know how.
mm,
Let's equip those people who don't have the resources but have the passion to make a difference and say, we need your support. We want your support. Let's do this. And also, we want to recognize there are some great individuals who aren't part of the Synergy Network yet, but are doing some great work. Because one thing we want to do
mm,
is to cheer people on who are helping develop what we call the kingdom. Because ultimately, we've got the same goal
mm.
supporting and building up our young people to say, your life is so valuable. Let's make sure that our actions and our society recognizes that.
Yeah, and I think, when I think of organizations, and there's quite a few that you and I know that doing things. Think of London City Missions, who've been doing it for over 160, 70 years. And, we met the guy from the Box Up initiative over in East London,
Yes, Stephen Addison, he's
um,
doing some great work
on
with the
what
young people.
they're doing. Um, mm, yeah, fantastic. And showing, training, teaching, educating people about this XLP. Um, just incredible stuff that people are doing out there that we really need to celebrate. And there's grandmas and granddads, and there's mums who are doing things. So you're quite right. We want to cheer people on who are helping people in terms of youth violence crime. It's interesting because my local team of street pastors is the Lambeth guys, okay? And in the Lambeth street pastors, you've got a retired nurse who was in the army.
Yeah.
You've got a retired civil servant. You've got all kinds of professional people. Um, I think of, I used to call her Mummy, um, Mummy Campbell, and she's in her 80s, and she used to go out on the streets of a night in Clapham and help young people who were drunk, liberated, or feeling tension. And I think to myself, there's some really formidable people out there doing some great things. And you know what? We need more people to join them and to get involved.
Absolutely. I think that the legacy of our street pastors, many of whom are of the elderly variety, is incredible and powerful. I mean, I'm hearing stories about street pastors who are training in secret, and families are only finding out that they're a street pastor at their graduation and are aged 85, 90, 95. And it's incredible. But part of the ministry is recognizing that legacy that are leaving behind needs to be picked up by the generations to come. We need to encourage all members of our
Yeah.
society, young and old, to say, here is a ministry and a vision that we would love you to catch hold of. Jump on board and let's see how we can take this forward.
I was in Torbay, out on patrol, and there was a young guy who was in sort of the old sixth form college, and he was out patrolling. And I remember a group of young boys and girls pulled up in a taxi, and they said, "Do you know?" I can't remember his name now, but they said, "Do you know?" I said, "Yeah, he's over the other side." And they said, "He's a legend. You know, he comes to our college, but you know, once a month he's out on the street. He's a legend." They said,
Yeah,
okay. And I think there's something about when our young people, you know, reaching 18 years of age, saying, I want to volunteer. I want to volunteer in food bank, or I want to volunteer helping people debt counseling. I want to volunteer to be a street pastor. It's something which for me is fantastic. And I would just love to encourage us, to encourage our young ones to get involved. I went to, I think it was um, Southampton or somewhere, Southampton, and there was a young man, so a grandson, a daughter and husband, and a grandma from the same family, all doing street pastors, and two generations graduated as newly street pastors. And I think going forward, after this, during and after this pandemic, we need to see more people actually saying, I want to get involved in my community. I want to do some volunteering. I want to give back. I want to be part of the solution and here to sense and trust of the solution. And maybe you live in anywhere in the United Kingdom, or you may be living in Australia or America, or you may be living in Africa, Nigeria, or in the Caribbean, and you want to get involved in the street pastors ministry or school pastors ministry, well,
mhm.
write to us, email us, because we want to encourage you, because I think all of us can get involved. So what's required? You know, you get trained. You get trained, 8 session or so sessions. You get trained. Some of it is online. Some of it is in practice. Then you go out on the street, and we're asking you to give one night or one evening per month. That's all we're asking. 12 evenings over 12 months, 12 nights over 1 year. That's, come on, you could do that. I don't know about you, Bejoy, but I'm still a street pastor and I still get out there and I love it. It's absolutely fulfilling, it's exciting. It's also very encouraging just to be there for people who are in need.
Definitely, it's such a powerful ministry to be a part of. I'm a Croydon street pastor and have been for 6 years, and every time I've been out, I've encountered and experienced Jesus in a different way, just to see where he's moving, where he is working. But Les, outside of that, I've been involved in youth work for quite some time now, and the biggest thing that I've learned in my journey is young people thrive off responsibility, and people in communities thrive off responsibility. So, where are we creating space and opportunities for our young people to take responsibility, to recognize by doing that we are placing value and worth and confidence in their abilities? To say, it's your responsibility to look after your community, and here is the support to help you. That is our encouragement. Let's continue to provide opportunities where our young people, our members of society, can take responsibility and be encouraged by the work that they are doing.
I think the word that came to mind, Bejoy, was affirming.
Yeah.
Affirming young people, just affirming them, and I think as we affirm young people, I think they'll rise even more. There's some young people out there doing some fantastic work, and I really appreciate those young people. And I would encourage, our listeners, our viewers, to look for young people who are doing some good things and ask yourself, how do I affirm them? How do I encourage them? How do I bless them to keep doing? And in particular, those who are youth workers. I was talking to a youth worker the other day, and they live in London, and or a church worker working on work with young people. Really trying to get the church to continue to work outside, and he was struggling in terms of finding somewhere to live with his wife and children. And I think that as a society, we've got to affirm these key men and women who are doing some incredible work
Mm-hmm.
and help them and encourage them to do their work. So, I want us to really pray. I'm talking to one such man who's working, and I'm meeting up with him because I want to see how we can support his effort to ensure that he, gets a place, and he continues his work, being encouraged in terms of his work on the ground. So it's really there. Time has beat us again, B-Joy, and it's really interesting because we were talking about talking to someone yesterday about disability. We were talking about how's the disability disabled community and those among us who are disabled, how are they faring in all of this? I was speaking with the CEO of Through the Roof organization, and we're hoping that he'll join us next week because there's so much we can do. There's so much we can do, and we want to encourage people to reach out and really help people, really in their well-being, in their spiritual well-being, in their social well-being. Let them know that they are loved, they are valued, and that we're all in it together as society.
Yeah, absolutely.
Big
No,
George,
sorry, Les. I think, do
go on,
you
Big
want me
George,
to close in prayer?
please.
Yeah. Father, just thank you that we have this time to come together. But Lord, continue to be our guide, continue to be our focus. Show us where we can be those bridge builders that you call us to be, to share wisdom, resources, knowledge,
Mm.
Lord, so that together we are working relationally to grow your kingdom, to recognize what kingdom is, and to pull people in to say, let's journey on this together. How can we cheer you on as you do to us on a regular basis? May we continue to see your hope that you present before us, before communities, organizations, and individuals, and say, come on, let's finish this race together. Lord, we lift up the people who are doing some great work
Thank you.
in your name. Amen.
Mm. Amen. Thank you for that, Big Joy. Please do join me, Les Isaac, on Sunday morning at 8 a.m. on Facebook Live. Please do join me. Also, this Sunday, we'll be having Pray London. So you can just go to YouTube and just put in Pray London Live from 8 o'clock until 9 o'clock. So you could really join us there. And there's some fantastic things. I've been involved with the Apostolic All Nation Church, and they're doing this thing called Why Jesus, and they're having some fantastic time And so, you know, come on, we need to share good news to the folks, to the city, to this nation. So please do join me. See you next week, Friday at 12 o'clock, and God bless you all.
Hold on,
Thank you,
Les. We're
Bejoy.
not meeting next week because next week is Good Friday. So we're going to take a break, but we will see you after the Easter weekend. But no, thank you, everybody.
Oh, man, I was so excited about next week, Bejoy. Says after Easter. See you after Easter. Have a happy Easter. The Lord
Take care,
bless you
everyone. God
all.
bless.